Welcome back to Sunrise Daily, continuing our focus on tackling corruption. Well, Mr. Ziala, but just as you heard some of the senior lawyers there raise, and if you look through today, it's the judges who were arrested that are accusing the DSS. They've accused ministers, and then we all know people talk about the legislature, and then even the executive not left out. So almost every arm is accused of corruption at some point in time. And just as they did raise there, look, are we papering over cracks, or are we really putting in place measures to address the root cause of this?
I think that we are only scratching the surface. And why do I say so? In one of the interventions I made on corruption, I said that if we want to really fight corruption, first is to start with the security agencies and the people that investigate this corruption. And how do you do that? I said that in every system, whether in the security agencies, there are very good people. In the judiciary, you have very good ones. In the legislature, you have very good ones. In the executive, you have very good ones. It's not all about wars. First is, the president could decide to say, look out, just get maybe outside people, investigate about some people that are either in the DSS, in the EFCC, or in the police. You can have about 10 persons or 20 persons who you can see by either their way of life, that they are not super rich, and that they are not corrupt, and that they are not nepotic in nature. Nepotism is also part of corruption. When you get these people, you train them. You can send them out, train them so that they will understand what corruption is. Those people can come back, investigate the leadership of the security agencies first. When you investigate the leadership of the security agencies, you will be able to have about 30, 40, 50 persons who can be said to live above board. Then we have Nigerians who are that. From there, you move to the judiciary. Because these are the two arms that can cooperate to rid Nigeria of corruption. There are many judges that are good. And by simple administrative restructuring, just like the EFCC did, they met with the various chief judges and said, please give us they themselves really suggested the judges they want to preside over their cases. There's nothing wrong with that. They would have known that these judges are good, and they could ask, can they preside over our cases? So that the EFCC or the DSS or the ICPC can now say, okay, while we are investigating, you investigate, and you get lawyers who are brilliant, who can look at the aspects of this investigation. When they look at it, they should be able to draft charges in such a way that they can sustain conviction. That is the way out. When you have also many security agencies who live above board, what is the next thing? They can now put an eye on people who sign checks. If we say, for instance, the governors, that they are their excellencies, and that you cannot investigate them or you cannot arrest them or whatever you say, that they have immunity. The accountant general or the auditor general, do they have immunity? The people that sign out these checks, do they have immunity? The answer is no. If you think you cannot arrest a minister, I know the minister do not have immunity. Can't you arrest the permanent secretary? When they approve or when they recommend something you know that is wrong. When somebody goes out to say that a road that was not constructed was constructed, wouldn't you be able to arrest the person? The person is not the governor. He put something on paper recommending to the governor to approve payment. You arrest the person. So you see that I said that we are fighting it from the scratch. Most of the things are still happening. So we need to sit down, like I said. We have had a lot of papers, and these papers are not implemented anywhere. So let's get, you have a lot of people that are nice. You have people like the Nobel Professor Wole Soyinka and many others who you can say can actually head some of these agencies, who you can say that can actually be interested in working to stop corruption. I think we should start from about some of them. We have many of them that would have been there, and you don't see issues of wealth.
Let's go a little further with the judiciary, because, I mean, everyone knows how very important it is, or they are, in a democracy. Why is it difficult for the judiciary to look inwards and say, look, several CJNs have spoken up about, look, it's either how judges don't deliver judgments or they deliver one judgment in a year. Some say, no, you must deliver 3 or 4 in a year, or else you have questions to answer. So you have different areas, different issues that have been raised at one point in time or the other about the importance of having reforms in the judiciary. Why is it really difficult for them to stand up and say, look, if we don't like the way judges are being appointed, whether from the states or at the center, we do something about it. If we don't like the administration of criminal justice or justice generally, we do something about it. Why are these things difficult for the judiciary to lead in this light?
Yes, I was once in the executive of the Nigerian Bar Association in Lagos. And during the appointment of judges, we were given a list of judges that the executive wanted to appoint. When they gave us that list, we looked at the list. These are our colleagues. We knew some of them were lazy. We knew some of them, with due respect to them, may not have a good grip of the law. And we said so. We made those recommendations and said, these people may not be proper instruments to be judges. And what happened? The executive and the legislature made the appointments. They sent them to the NJC for confirmation, and our views were not reflected. They were confirmed. So when you have some of these people heading this judiciary, when you have these people who would now preside over the discipline of the judges, what do you expect? They are going to discipline the same people that have the same character as themselves. So, and that is why I said we need to sit down. If we sit down today, if you don't involve lawyers into the appointments of their colleagues into the bench, that is a fundamental error. When you continue to appoint your relations, people you know you have been doing deals with, lawyers who are good at bribing judges, and you appoint them to become judges, and one day they become chief judges, they are members of the NJC, they become chief justice of the Federation. Where do you move from there? When you appoint lawyers who, with due respect, may not have a good grip of the law, who are morally bankrupt, they will not go into the bench and change. So let's investigate these people. Let's find out, let's discreetly find out who they are. Let's show them the way and look for people who can work and look for people who can really do this job. Take, for instance, now in the judiciary, some of us still feel that, or some very senior lawyers will tell you that there are still people who are worse in the system. The searchlights may not be on them today. And when a system is being perceived as being unfair, when a system is being perceived as looking for a particular group of people